Tight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is the Morning Moment. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. Now this clip that I'm going to play is discussing the recent bombing that has happened, or it wasn't a bombing really, it was attempted bombing on the London Tube train. I have a clip from Fox and Friends at the weekend, which was very interesting. They had a guy on there by the name of Aaron Cohen, who's been on before. He's a security expert, and he talks about the UK response, which is exactly the same as it was for all previous incidents, as they like to call them. But what I want you to know, first of all, is that Fox News has been turned off in the UK. Now, actually, it's been turned off by the Fox News Corporation, which is strange, but that's to make them seem positive in the UK because they're after buying Sky News. But anyway, that's a side issue. So the UK really have a censored view of what's going on in their country at the moment, as we do as the most part in Canada. Now, for us, Trudeau would like nothing more than to be able to shut off Fox News in Canada, but because of our location, our geographic position, in other words, we are slap bang next door to the United States, that makes it almost impossible for him to do. But make no mistake, he's after doing that. But that's one point. The other is the situation in the UK, which is one of complete and utter denial of the real situation. This situation is a self-inflicted one in the UK. And it's not just the UK, it's in other countries in the West as well. Now I want to ask you this. At what point do we say to our elected officials, you are not doing your number one job, which is to keep us safe, and you all need to go, and to hell with political correctness? I believe that at some point, and it won't be too far down the road, that there will be a real test required for your citizenship. If you insist on trying to change or undermine your country's underlying culture, that's a hint to Mr. Trudeau, that's an in-joke in Canada, and others, then you will be considered out of compliance with your citizenship, and you will be given a period of grace for you to make amends. And if you choose not to address those issues, the first action is to have your citizenship renounced. If you are a naturalised citizen, you will be considered out of compliance with those terms that you agreed to when you became a naturalised citizen. You will, of course, be given a period of grace to make amends, to try and change that situation and bring you back into compliance, because it is a contract that you've entered into. And if after that period of grace that you choose not to do anything, then action will be taken to renounce your citizenship. That is, if you are a naturalised citizen. And thereafter steps will be taken to remove you from the country for the good of the majority of the people who live there. If you are in the fortunate position of being born in that country and family members are considered to be in compliance, then other actions, which I won't state, should be taken. This is not to say, and this is important, that you cannot be involved in political actions in your country. That should never be the case. But a line must be drawn for the good of the country. It sounds harsh, I know, and there are many critics out there that would disagree with me, and one particular I can think of is Glenn Beck. But we must stop this cultural rot while we still have control. And make no mistake, this is their goal. What do I mean by that? It is to take control of our countries and impose their ideology on us. That is their goal. And we are aiding them in that process. We are giving them the tools and the legal ability to take over our countries. I know a lot of you can see that, but a lot of you think that that is a racist comment. Just do your own homework. Listen to this clip, and I welcome your comments.
This as ISIS has now claimed responsibility for the explosion. So how do we prevent these kinds of attacks in the United States?
Let's ask former member of Israel's Special Operations, Aaron Cohen. Aaron, always good to have you on with your expertise, especially on a day like this where yet another attack has happened. This is the new normal. How do we move forward?
Well, guys, here's the key. Counterterror quality or grade security lives in the space before the attack. And what I mean by that is we need to be thinking about, the Brits need to be thinking about all of that space or time before the attack occurs, because it's about preparation. And in this case, specifically in London, I can tell you that had bags been checked, and I don't want to point my finger at the Brits. I've worked with the Brits. I enjoy the Brits. I think they're one of the countries that are leading on counterterror. But in their particular subway train stations or tube stations, I don't believe specific bags are being checked. You can prevent these types of attacks. You have to check the bag. Somebody had to physically come in with that IED or improvised explosive device and physically take that out of that bag and then put that or leave that suspicious device somewhere on that train in order for it to go off. So it's a very simple fix. The problem is that there's a lot of motion involved. With security, people say, oh, we can't have that type of security. It impedes our day-to-day, well-being, and we're living in a police state. Nonsense.
Yeah.
We're capable of doing it. We check bags. It only takes a few seconds in Israel. And security really it's almost a creative art form. But all of that quality security lives in that vacuum before the attack.
Aaron, you're talking about
that's what we need to be thinking.
You're talking about hardening targets, which is definitely a way to react to things like this as well. But we know of 35,000 radical Islamists in that country, 3,000 of which they think could be bent on terror, 500 of which they're monitoring constantly. At what point do you look at these people and say, you're not a citizen of the UK, you're an enemy combatant, you are at war with us, you seek to kill our people, you do not believe in our way of life? Should their whole political system start to review how they view these people as opposed to, trying to fight a war through police action, which is how it feels like right now?
Yeah, their entire political system needs to completely be turned upside down. And the reason why is because feel-good and correctness is essentially corrupted and eroded the actual fibers of the citizenry. And what I mean by that is in Israel, we would never tolerate people within our borders in Israel. And we have Arabs who live inside Israel. They serve in our military, but they are fundamentally aligned with the Israeli state and with the laws and with the mindset and the values that we hold in Israel. And we need those people in our system, and we enjoy having them in Israel. But in the UK, as well as here in the United States, to be politically correct and to not completely churn up the hatred that's embedded within your own country is not only nonsensical, but it's ludicrous. Yeah. And so if it was up to me, if I was advising President Trump right now, I would be telling the president it should be raining terrorist warrants in this country against any individuals or any families who are in cahoots or in touch or support or related to a potential terrorist. I'd be making it rain warrants, and that's what needs to be happening in the UK. Warrants cause doors to get kicked in, which leads to intel, which prevents attacks. That's what I have happening over there.
Aaron Cohen, thank you for your expertise.
Thank you, Aaron.
Appreciate it this morning.
You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab, and email. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments at Spreaker.com under A Radio, that's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. And you can find all my podcasts and morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com and click on the Morning Moments tab.